Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. My name is Rochelle Slay Queen Hemingway, CEO and founder of Slay to Success. I advise and empower women professionals, especially women veterans, to step up into their most authentic personal brand to gain and attract lucrative opportunities. And we are focusing on appearance, behaviors, communication skills, and our digital presence. Because once we can master all those different areas, we can get all the things, okay, that we desire and we deserve. And so happy to Slay. I haven't been here for maybe a week or so, or maybe 2 weeks. And I'm so excited, y'all. I'm so excited about today's conversation. Now, it may sting a little bit, but that is all in love because I want us all to get to slay mode. Okay. Slay means to kill it, to dominate it, and to nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it. It is also an acronym. Okay, because I'm extra like that. And it stands for Universal Life and Leadership Philosophies that really resonate with me the most. And I know that they resonate with you too, because you are here in the space. And that means stay ready to be ready, lead out loud, a sense of community or a sense of family, and knowing you are built to last. So as you come in, y'all, please make sure you tell me who you are, where you're streaming in from, because you could be anywhere else, but you decide to come on the Rise and Slay Morning Show to get a little bit of motivation, empower your mindset, elevate your success, get into a different mindset, okay? Because today in this world where it is so noisy out here, y'all, the distractors are unreal. We need to be laser focused on who we are and what we doing. All right. Now, on this show, I talk specifically about personal branding. Right. I am a personal brand expert, a professional keynote speaker, a certified image consultant, author of several books. Okay. All can be found on Amazon. You just put my name into the search engine and you will see things pop up. All right. And it's all in the vein of personal branding or resilience. And also, I am a proud United States Air Force veteran and I served for 30 years. All right. So I've been retired since 2021. So it's been a few years and I am on this quest, y'all, to live my best life. And I'm taking others with me. So as we are talking through this, if you have a comment or if you have something to share, please make sure that you put that into the chat so that way we can have an ongoing conversation. Okay. So we are going to talk about rebranding. Okay. And not specifically to get people into this mindset of what is personal branding. First of all, okay, it is the perception of what others are seeing about you. All right, when you walking out and about doing what you do either online or in person, is it the same? Okay, and are they giving you the feedback that it is on point? I know that when I started on my personal branding journey, which has been probably for about, I don't know, 10 years now, um, I didn't realize that what I was doing was something that was getting me into doors, in rooms. I didn't realize this until after I retired from the military and I started in on my entrepreneurial journey. And my great friend Todd Simmons said, "Hey, your personal branding is on point." And I started to read into personal branding and I said, "Yes, I have been doing this for a minute. And everything that I am doing is very intentional. There is nothing that's happenstance. I do things on purpose because I want a certain outcome." And so today we're going to talk about lifestyle. All right. Because what I do is a lifestyle. All right. A lot of times people ask me, what do I do on a daily basis? And how do I keep up with this? So I'm going to share a little bit of insight. All right. As to what I do on a regular basis. And, as you hear what I'm talking about, if you got something to say about it, hey, let's just bring it in. Okay. So this morning I got up at 7 o'clock. Okay. I don't have an alarm clock. I used to get up to an alarm clock every morning when I was in the military, and that alarm clock went off at 04:30. All right. That does not happen now in this next chapter. I get up at 7 o'clock, 7:15, if you will, before our son goes to school. So more than likely, I am here at home. I get to see him get on the bus. All right. I don't start anything really until about 10 o'clock, unless, of course, it is a special event or a networking event or something that starts earlier. I personally don't like to get started right in the morning. I like to ease in, okay, after my workout, because there's a workout before I start working at 10 o'clock. Okay. Then 10 o'clock to about, I don't know, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I am working, okay, either with a client, going to a networking event, virtually, in person. There's a lot of things that are happening in between, but I shut it all down about 4 o'clock because our son is in basketball. And if anybody has kids that are in traveling sports or whatnot, especially out here in the DMV, which is DC, Maryland, and Virginia, you know that this is not a game. Okay. They mean business when they're talking about we traveling here and we traveling there, right? So I stop what I'm doing, okay, between me and my husband, and we figure out, how he's going to get to practices, how he's going to get to games and so forth. We go to the game, and then I finish up sometimes, from 9 to about 11 o'clock at night doing some business. So last night I was working on making sure this show was good to go. All right. Making sure my content was out there. And then we repeat. Now, Jennifer's here in the building. Hey, Jennifer, how you doing? Won't Todd tell you how to find your niche? Yes, he will. Okay, y'all, if you're not following Todd Simmons, okay, either on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, any of those social media networks, go ahead and do that, and you're welcome. Okay. And Jennifer says, I'm headed to the gym right now. That's right, Queen. All right. This is a lifestyle. Okay. I get up every day and get dressed. All right. It's a lifestyle. And when I talk about dress, I mean, I got pants on too. Okay. Sometimes we don't go through all the motion because, we was just not going anywhere. Okay. Guess what? If somebody rings the doorbell, or if I got to jump out here and go to the grocery store or whatnot, I'm already prepared. I'm already ready. I'm already in my brand. My brand is pink, bold, bright, all the things. All right. But this is a lifestyle. So let me just give you yet another uh, story. So when I retired, I had nothing but black clothes in my closet. All right. It was all blacked out, blues, some grays. And I decided, hey, I wanted to take on the wardrobe as the beginning of my personal brand journey. I wanted to show up differently. My energy is just over the top. Okay, I am 52 years old, but it is over the top. I can go all day, okay, in whatever I'm doing. And so I wanted my outside to reflect my inside. And I am so glad that I do not look like what I have been through. Okay. I'm so glad. I'm grateful. I always, wake up in the morning and I'm like, God, thank you so much for allowing me the opportunity to do what I get to do. And this all is freedom for me. It's peace. I have purpose. I just step into it every single day knowing what I'm supposed to do. I have so many thoughts in my head that are positive, that are empowering, that are inspirational. And so guess what? I am sharing with the world. All right. And that's my personal branding right there. She said, not pants on too. This is not the mullet or tired of COVID. Right. You know what? So many times I have heard people, or they stand up and they say, oh, I got on shorts or whatever. I'm like, shorts with a nice blouse or a jacket or whatnot. That's just not me. Okay. That's just not me, because I want to be fully immersed in what I am doing and how I'm doing it, because I don't want to get lax. All right. For me, okay, that goes into the lazy, and I'm not lazy. I like to think that I am you know, developing these habits that I've created over so many years. All right, and refining. And I had to drop some of the habits that I had before while I was in the military because they don't serve me well while I'm in this next chapter. Okay. So he said, Amen. Hey Warren, how you doing this morning? Thank you so much for being here live with us on the show this morning. Hope you're doing well. You're on the Facebook side of the house, so thank you so much. Because this is something that we don't really truly talk about. We may have these thoughts in our head, but I'm just bringing them to light. That's all I'm doing. Okay. So we're not going to be talking this morning just about tweaking your life. Okay. I've heard, so many times, like, I just want to start my podcast. Okay. Right. That's great. You could start a podcast, but how you end the podcast? Okay. And what are you sharing? What are you saying? What is the message? All right. So all this stuff, it really matters. All right. So I'm talking about completely re-imaging your lifestyle and in alignment with where you're trying to go for either the man or the woman that you are becoming. Is it in alignment? All right. Because I'm not about putting quotes on the mirrors. Okay. I get it. Okay. That is a strategy for some people to, write it out, put a little sticky on the mirror. We don't have stickies on our mirrors here in our house. Okay. We just don't have that. That's just how we set it up. All right. I have it in here. Okay. I know what I need to be saying in my head and giving myself positive affirmations every day so I can do what I do. I had to step on back, okay, do some deep reflection after I retired and ask myself some very hard questions. Thank you. And you're welcome. I love that. It's like when people think that they can just lose fat or weight in certain regions. It doesn't work like that. It's 80% kitchen, 80% kitchen, and 20% gym, and 100% lifestyle. Jen, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay. Too many times people tell me because they see me and I am not afraid or guilty anymore of showing what I do on a regular basis. Before, I used to get like, oh my goodness, people are going to know my secrets, or oh my goodness, people are going to judge me. Oh my goodness, da, 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 da. I don't care about any of that. I am just showing you what I truly value. And what I truly value is quality of life. All right. And like Jen said, 80% is what you putting in your mouth. That's what you look like. I used to have a friend. Well, we were still friends, but we were in the military. And he used to tell me, eating these boring, bland foods, it yields the results that you're trying to get to, because you don't put on an extra butter, extra, salts, extra whatever. You eat it as it is, the clean diet, if you will, and you do some of that work in the gym. But this is an everyday being consistent. All right. Being mindful of what it is that you are doing. All right. So that is such a great example, Jennifer. So thank you for sharing that with us. Okay. So again, is the life that you're living right now actually aligned with who you say you are becoming? Okay. That's what it is today. All right. And I have used personal branding as a tool to shift my lifestyle. Yes, I had a certain way of living in the military that served me well and got me to the 30-year mark. All right. Successfully, honorably, distinguished service. All right. That is not going to always be the case for me in this next chapter as I find out. So I had to reimagine my lifestyle. All right. So what does it really mean? All right, to reimagine your lifestyle. Let me give you some notes down here that I have written here. Your lifestyle isn't just about switching careers or changing your wardrobe. Now, it's a part of that, but it's not all to be all. Okay. I know that people think that all I do, and I'll put in air quotes, is put clothes on people. All right. Like, I get women dressed up. It's so much bigger than that. That is just a small part of it. What I am doing is helping women to see themselves in a different way and to create and maintain a lifestyle that is indicative of who they are becoming. That is what I truly do on a regular basis. All right. So this is a bold internal. So whatever you got going on in the inside is a reflection of what is out on the outside. And so it has to be redefined. So I had to redefine how I moved, how I speak, how I show up, and how I serve. That's what I have done in this next chapter. In this next chapter, again, 2021, I have literally shifted and redefined how I speak, how I move, how I show up, and how I serve out here. It is not particularly in the same ways, all right? But I've created purpose for myself. I can get up every day knowing what I got to do, what I want to do, and I just move in it. And sometimes I move in silence, and sometimes people don't know what's going on behind the scenes. But I'm telling you, there's a lot that I have created for myself that allows me to show up with the glow up. Okay. Too many times. So we went on to an event, and I said, you know what, huh? And I told my husband, Dominique, I was like, he's like, what are we going to wear this weekend to a promotion after party? I said, well, we're going to show up. Okay. Now, I did have on, a nice outfit, but it was also the energy. Okay. I showed up with energy. They started, with the line dancing songs, y'all. And listen, when you start to go with the line dancing, I'm your girl. Okay. I will stay on the dance floor until you're done with all the line dances. And people were just like, yes, I knew all the line dances because that is a part of what I like to do. All right. So Jennifer says, re-engage in nurturing feminine if no one but you. That's hard after being in a man's world for so long. Who are you in this next chapter? Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And that's what I'm talking about. I had to find the softness, okay, within, so that way I can start to exude that on the outside, because I was tough as nails, y'all. Okay. I was tough as nails when I was in the uniform. And I can get tough as nails when I need to, but I have pulled back significantly because that is not exactly who I am and how I have been designed and wired to be. Okay. So that is what I'm, talking about. And it is hard. It is a hard shift, but I believe in me. If I can do it, anybody else can do it. Hey, Valerie, how you doing? On the Facebook side, Queen. Yeah, show up with the glow up. All right. And not minding about what everyone else is doing. What makes you feel good? What gives you that perk, that sense of, man, she is different or he is different? What is it about them that is so different? Because we have truly accepted, all right, who we are, and we have this lifestyle now that we can keep up with that is in alignment with where we're trying to go. So, too many of us are operating in these types of ways. And I'm going to give you a little bit of some examples here. Jennifer says, you had to be tough as nails to make it through that chapter, though, and it's given you balance for the next. Yeah, listen, I started out as a medical technician. And, in the medical community, a lot of times they would be like, y'all ain't even part of the Air Force. Y'all are just over here lottie-dottie having parties. All right. And putting on potlucks and this and that. Right. And so it was kind of like, I didn't have to, really speak up for myself or to really go toe to toe with anyone until I started to get into some higher leadership roles like first sergeant. Now, when I was a first sergeant, that's when it all started to happen. All right. And I was like, you know what? I gotta start speaking up. I gotta use my voice now. All right. I've got to do a little bit more research as to who I'm dealing with and what is the system that we are operating in. I have to navigate a little bit differently because the bar kept being raised higher and higher. All right. And I was performing at very high, levels with a lot of the stress. So yes, I had to be tough. But now I pulled back and I said, I don't need to be like that anymore. Okay. I don't need to go and check to see if somebody actually paid their credit card. All right. That's not on me. I don't need to make sure that somebody is, doing their work and checking the boxes. Okay? No. All right? So, yes, this is the goals. Okay? The goal that I have right now is this is what I was working towards. So it's getting to this lifestyle where I can choose to do whatever it is that I want to do. And I want that for everybody else in my community because we deserve it. All right. We've been through a whole lot of ish, and it is now at the time for us to take life into our own hands and to create the destination that we want. And what I am trying to share with y'all is about branding and why it has helped me to make this lifestyle shift. So some of us have outgrown our environments, okay, but are still playing to these old rules that don't fit anymore. Okay? That's how some of us are operating. All right? We are in environments that we know like we don't need to be in this right now. Like who are here? What are they doing? Okay, so you got to ask that for yourself. And what rules are you playing by? I came from air traffic control where we eat our own. Oh, I know, Queen. Listen, whew, I do know that. Okay, and that can't be the case for you for your entire life. At some point, people have to ask themselves, is this where I really need to be? Enrique, hey, what's going on? Welcome to the Rise and Slay Morning Show. You know how we do it up in here. We get you a little motivated, get a little bit spark going on. I'm doing well. I hope you doing well. I see you out in these streets too. So, this is what we are doing. We are helping our communities to do better each and every day because that's what I'm striving for in my life. All right. Now I'm using personal branding as the tool, the vehicle to get myself into the right operating space so I can maintain this lifestyle that I have recreated for myself after I retired from the military. So our image, okay, is everything. So when we are stuck, our image no longer represents our next level. And you know it. Okay. And you know it. But you're still there. Okay. Because you're like, you know what? My image or, what I was doing before it has worked. But then I find out it's really not working, but I don't want to change or do anything like that. I'm like, okay, but don't get mad. Don't get mad at other people when they decided, hey, this is where they want to go and this is how they want to live. Right. So again, I work with high achieving women who are looking for more and they're burned out. Okay. When they come to me, they burned out and they're running on fumes. All right. They're masking with confidence, but they're disconnected from their purpose. They have no idea. I have asked several women. I have, a few clients right now, and one of them, I asked, what is it that you like to do? They couldn't even tell me what they like to do. It was like, I have no idea. I'm like, okay, well, we're gonna have to figure this out together. All right, because you know what? In this life, this is all about legacy. Okay. I'm building legacy right now. Every single day, the actions that I take are building to the legacy that I want to leave when I am gone from this world. And I'm not allowed. I'm not in the way that I think. Okay, y'all, because I'm thinking in high vibration right now. Okay, the way that I think is that if I don't do what I say that I would like to do, then it's a coulda, shoulda, woulda. All right. I could have been doing that. I should have been doing that. Whatever. I am in the most optimal health right now, that I am doing whatever it is that my heart is leading me to. And I'm pushing and challenging myself outside of my comfort zone every single day, every single day. And that starts in my workout, because I'm still doing burpees, sometimes with weights and sprints and all these other stuff, because in my mind, I'm like, you know what? Life is hard. Life is hard. Okay. And I know that life is hard because of some of the circumstances and situations that I have been through. But I am not going to give up. I'm going to keep on slaying. You know, that's my phrase. Keep on slaying until I can't slay no more. All right. So what is that for you? What you don't change, you accept. Amen. This is that's a whole sermon, okay? Because it's true. You know, people always want something different, but they're not willing to do things that are different. They want the same results, or want different results doing the same things over and over again. It just doesn't happen like that. Okay. Now, you know, I know when people are not, their lifestyle is not in alignment with where they are trying to go, when they're surrounded by people, places, and things that don't challenge or elevate them. All right. They're hanging out with the same folks, hearing the same conversations about the same old things, and it ain't new. It's like depressing. It's, hey, you know, like, we want you to stay over here. No, you got to be looking for different circles of people who are doing the same types of things. So, like on Thursday, y'all, I'm doing some facilitation with the Grit and Grace community in Woodbridge, Virginia, out of the Veterans Growing America Marketplace. It is in alignment with what I am doing, and I have surrounded myself around women who want to see themselves in a different way. They're no longer accepting the status quo. All right. They are elevating not only in their business, but in their entire life. So, who are you surrounding yourself with? And if you want more, but feel guilty or unsure how to shift, this is now your wake up call. This is the wake up call. All right. This is where you stop, you pull back, take a step back, you fall back. All right. And you really ask yourself, what is it that I'm doing? And why is it not working? And why do I feel so a certain way? You should feel light. You should be carefree. You should feel like, you know what? I know I can do certain things if I just reimagine my life and design it in such a way. All right. So, what happens when you reimagine your life? And I'll just, again, this is just by my personal experiences that have happened to me when I started to figure out my identity. I stopped negotiating my identity, and I decided to reimage my lifestyle like a CEO and a slay queen. Okay, that is what you will see. CEO, slay queen. Okay, now we'll first talk with the slay queen. Slay queen comes with a whole lot. If I say I'm going to kill it, dominate it, and nail it, to be on point, to impress greatly, to dream big and work hard until you own it, that is what I should be bringing and delivering. And that is a promise that I'm giving not only to myself, but to the people in my community. Okay. Now, it also comes with a certain picture or persona, right? People, when they hear that, they're like, oh my goodness, she's going to be stepping in these rooms. And yes, I do, because I know what it takes and I am willing to do the work. Okay. So that is what you need to be thinking here. Stop negotiating your identity and decide to reimagine your lifestyle. And for me, it was okay. I like to talk. So I'm doing speaking engagements. All right. I wasn't really doing engagements, if you will. I mean, I started to do engagements when I was in the military, but not really. I mean, when you're in the military and you're in a leadership role, they just give you the microphone and they just want you to talk. It's different now in this next chapter because I'm in different communities, talking to different people about my experiences and what I have done in my business, how has impacted my life in so many different ways. I have clients now, y'all, that I am responsible for. Yes, in the military, I was responsible for, many, many people, and many, many things. But this is an intimate spiritual journey that I am helping and walking alongside of my clients with. And I get asked to go into interviews all the time. I get invitations to rooms that I only dreamed about and I did not know they exist because I reimagined my life. Okay. So there's no more doubting. I don't doubt about what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. I know what I stand for. I know what I won't tolerate. I know how to move with clarity. Right. When we start to think about the things that we are doing, how we're doing it, it just relieves so much stress. All right. There's a whole terminology of protecting your peace. All right. Um, I don't have to protect it because I'm at peace. There's every day I can just walk and do what I do, and knowing that I have truly decided on my own that this is how I want to move. This is how I want to do my life. I don't know how much more to explain it, y'all. Okay. Um, so even my relationships have changed. Okay, my relationships have changed. My network is with intention. I speak with convention. I'm gaining mentors and allies and power partners, not just followers. Okay, you don't pick the topics and be like, listen, you don't, you don't. You know, it's just like, hey, we want to like zoom in, focus in on this particular area. We need you to speak about this. And, I'm like, I don't want to speak about that today. I don't even know all the ins and outs of it. So when it started getting to very strategic, like in depth, I don't want to speak about all that. That's not my superpower. My superpower was about people, okay, and what was going on with them in their lives and how I can make impact and influence them to make better decisions for their life. That was my way of service. So you're absolutely right. But now, okay, I pick the topics. I share with you the things that I know that have helped me. And I'm just using my personal experiences, my expertise, my skill set, if you will, to do it differently, to serve in a different way. All right. And just share with you, my relationships have changed. There's a lot of people that I was in service with, I don't talk to anymore. And it's not no harm or foul. It's just the way that it is. All right. I am moving in a different direction than some of them. All right. And now I get to, create relationships with people that actually get me. I don't feel like they're tolerating me. I don't feel like they're just like, oh, we gotta listen to you because you got the rank on and da, 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 da. Well, okay, no, that is not where I'm at anymore. All right. And I'm so grateful. Okay. Get a new playground. Yes, 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 yes. Look, well, I don't even know how the hand clap, on the playground. Yeah, we got a new playground now. All right. And it's so much easier for me to navigate in um uh this network that I have created than it was when I was in the military. And, the other thing is, this visual presence, it's a thing. Visual presence is a thing. Okay. I know when we shift from the being in the military or in a conforming environment, it doesn't have to be just the military. We were showing up a certain way. All right. Now it's so much more than that. When we look the part and we feel the part, we own it. Okay. And that is this lifestyle. We have to design a lifestyle blueprint around purpose and not around pressure. So our mornings, okay, we got to own our mornings. Our boundaries, we got to own our boundaries. Our energy, we have to make sure we have the energy for the right things, okay? The right people, all right? Protect. And now, when I was talking about energy, we're going to protect the energy now. We got to, all right? Because that is truly how we do in everything that we're doing. We have to protect and preserve our wellness routines, all right, that are working for us. I'm not talking about being destructive, all right? Again, I socialize drink, and that's 1 to 2 drinks. I'm a lightweight, okay? I'm very much a lightweight because I don't drink on a regular. I stopped smoking, okay, back in 2000 because they weren't serving me well. All right. I just started smoking because I was in the military and everybody else was doing it around me. I was like, what am I doing right here? Because I am a fitness enthusiast. And so that does not serve me well. Right. So I'm doing things that do not drain me. Okay. Nothing that I'm doing is draining. Everything that I'm doing is it's so much of what I want to do. All right, and it matches. So, are you living or are you leading? Are you performing or are you aligned, branded, and unstoppable? Okay, so that is what we need to be focusing our attentions on. This is about reimagining your lifestyle. Everything that you are doing needs to be in alignment with who you say you want to become. And most of the times, people want to become the best and favorite versions of themselves. So if that is not connecting, all right, something is off. This is where you fall all the way back and you think about it and you start doing some things that can get you where you want to be. Extreme ownership. I ain't got time to blame no one, execute or get out the way. Now, I usually have the book down here, Extreme Ownership, but I've changed some things down here and I'm looking down here underneath. But I have the book as well. And I absolutely agree with everything that he shares in with it. It's like people are always looking for someone else to point fingers at. And I'm like, we don't necessarily want to tell ourselves that we are not cutting it and we are not getting after it the way we want to. And this is, again, this is all about self. All right. What I share and what I do is personal branding, self development. All right. It is about you and what you're doing. Yes, own and protect our energy. All right. So, hopefully, this is helpful for us. Okay. It is Tuesday, the beginning of the week. Carry this throughout the end of the week. I will be back here in these social media streets on the Slay to Success Talk Show on Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Or you can find me again next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. And if you need any support or help, or you need to find out what exactly do I do and how I help, you just reach out to me. DM me, go to my website, www.slaytosuccess.com. Okay. You can find me on LinkedIn every day. Okay. And if anything, all right, I will see you out here because I'm out in these streets in the DMV all the time. So if I don't see you before then, have a slay amazing week. And I thank you all for being here. We had Jennifer was up in here. We had Enrique, Samantha. So thank you all for being with me live this morning. Share with anyone you think who needs a good word, okay, for today. And keep on slaying until you can't slay no more. Listen, I took a couple of weeks off because I was like, let me reset, regroup. you know how we do. We got a lot of moving parts. And so I just needed to do that. But I'm absolutely excited that I'm back, and I love being on the platform, and I love just being part of the community that is slaying all the things. Okay. Because that's what we're doing nowadays. All right. So thank y'all so much. And we will see you all very, very soon.